Very unfortunate news has been delivered. A mass shooting targeting Jews in Sydney, Australia left at least 16 dead and 42 injured. The problem is that major intelligence agencies around the world are warning that Muslims could carry out similar mass shootings and attacks in various places worldwide. Today, let's take a closer look at this issue. Let's get right into it. At 5 p.m. on December 14, a random shooting at Bondi Beach near Sydney left 16 people, including the suspect, dead. It's rare for over 10 people to be killed in a mass shooting in Australia. Police are now investigating possible accomplices. Chris Minns, the Premier of New South Wales, stated that this incident targeted the Jewish community in Sydney. In this Australian mass shooting, 42 people, including 2 police officers, were injured. Police killed one shooter and arrested the other, who was critically injured. Both suspects are believed to be of Islamic background. We need to take a closer look at the mass shooting incident that occurred in Australia. Near the parking lot of the playground at Bonnie Beach Park, 2 shooters dressed in black came with a shotgun and a sniper rifle, and they indiscriminately opened fire on the crowd. At the time, a Hanukkah celebration was happening at the scene, drawing many families and tourists. This is where the shooting happened, right? Someone among them acted heroically. It was seen that one citizen tackled the shooters from behind and managed to disarm them. This person was shot twice, but his life was not in danger. Besides the shooting, these shooters were also making homemade bombs and planning explosive attacks. The police barely managed to subdue the suspects before then, so the bombs did not go off. Afterward, the police succeeded in disposing of all the explosives. Anthony Albanese, the Prime Minister, called the scene shocking, horrific, and tragic, and held an emergency security meeting. Also, on December 13th, an Islamic State militant carried out a shooting attack against United States forces in Palmyra, central Syria. The sudden shooting resulted in the death of a United States soldier and an American interpreter, and 3 others were injured. A New York Times report says the Syria shooting happened suddenly when an Islamic State militant fired at a joint United States-Syrian security team guarding a building. The shooter was killed immediately. The shooter, a Syrian Ministry of Interior security officer, used a machine gun in the attack. Nurdin al-Baba, Ministry of Interior spokesperson, told Gukyang television the terrorist was not a high-ranking official and was recently suspected of Takfiri beliefs linked to Islamic State in a background check. President Trump said the attack happened outside Syrian government control, and that President Tara of Syria was enraged. He warned of a strong retaliation. In fact, that's not all. In Germany, there was a plan to attack crowds in densely populated areas with a truck during Christmas, but authorities succeeded in preventing it in advance. On December 12th, German police arrested 5 Muslim suspects in southern Bavaria for plotting a truck attack. There was 1 Egyptian, 3 Moroccans, and 1 Syrian. The Egyptian was an Islamic cleric active at a mosque in Bavaria. They plotted this truck attack with Islamist motivations. In 2024, a vehicle ramming attack during Christmas in Magdeburg, Germany, caused over 300 casualties. We keep hearing global news about Muslims using trucks to attack random people. Some of these attempts have actually been carried out. Here there are 2 key words we need to pay close attention to: Islam and Jews. Muslim perpetrators were responsible for these incidents, particularly in Australia, where they targeted Jewish events and committed these acts. Global intelligence agencies warned that large year-end and New Year gatherings may face threats like vehicle ramming or mass shootings. Especially Islamic extremists believe that attacking Christmas-related events sends a message that they are attacking the entire Western world. They take advantage of the fact that security at these venues tends to be lax and continue to carry out such attacks. South Korea's National Intelligence Service has warned of possible attacks on Christmas markets in Europe or the Americas. In recent years, as Israel has expanded its military actions to Gaza, the West Bank, Syria, Lebanon, and Iran, anger in the Islamic world has grown. Israel continues airstrikes, special operations, and targeted killings claiming national security, while live broadcasts show widespread civilian casualties. These scenes are seen as religious insults by the Islamic public, not just war news, and this dangerous view is quickly spreading, equating the Jewish state of Israel with all Jewish people. Especially with the Palestinian issue unresolved for decades, Israel's actions based on military superiority are viewed by the Islamic world. It gives the younger generation an extreme narrative, continually spreading the idea of confronting with force via online platforms, mosques, and informal networks. Some extremist groups justify attacks by treating the global Jewish community as one enemy, not distinguishing between Israel and Jews. There has been a rise in attacks on Jewish events, synagogues, schools, and community centers. In Islamic extremist propaganda, the narrative repeatedly portrays Israel as the enemy standing in front, with the West as the actor manipulating things from behind, and this framework is being used to reinforce the logic of targeting Western citizens in public places for attacks. Some immigrants from Islamic countries and second-generation youths who experience refugee issues, discrimination, and social alienation are becoming more vulnerable to these messages, and there is a rapid increase in cases where individuals are being radicalized solely through online incitement, even without direct connections to organizations. As a result, attack methods are becoming increasingly unpredictable, and even though the scale may be smaller, the frequency and brutality are actually intensifying. Israel's ongoing military actions are escalating Middle East conflicts and increasing interreligious tensions in Western countries like Europe, Australia, and North America, now threatening daily safety beyond diplomacy. The current clashes between Muslims and Jews are not conflicts limited to a specific region, but are turning into dangers that could become a reality in the heart of cities around the world at any time. This is a situation that must be viewed with even greater seriousness. Surprisingly, Islamic State leads these attacks, even though it has already collapsed. The remaining forces are now hiding in the deserts of Syria and Iraq, barely surviving. The problem is that these extremist groups are still considered a significant threat. Currently, in Syria and other Middle Eastern regions, extremist groups in remote deserts continue to launch numerous attacks. Followers of these extremist groups keep carrying out attacks in Europe, the United States, and elsewhere. Islamic State has been confirmed as responsible for the recent mass shooting in Australia. Israel has strongly condemned the attack targeting Jews. Israeli President Yitzhak Herzog at an event in Jerusalem spoke about the mass shooting in Australia, saying armed militants brutally attacked Jews lighting the first Hanukkah candle, causing suffering. He added that we will fight the wave of anti-Semitism. He also urged Australian authorities to intensify efforts against anti-Semitism. Currently, each country is making every effort to prevent such attacks. In particular, quite a few countries are entering into strict security measures. For example, Germany is adding many closed-circuit television cameras before Christmas events nationwide. They've added entrance checkpoints, concrete barriers, and more security staff. France has also sent official documents to local administrators and security chiefs across the country, ordering them to strengthen security measures. Laurent Renejou, Minister of the Interior, said that due to the high terror threat, he wants the country to keep the highest alert level and strengthen security nationwide. The French Ministry of the Interior also requested that special attention be paid to managing pedestrian flow to optimize citizen protection and control, that parking or traffic restrictions be imposed during large-scale events, and that local governments actively utilize their video surveillance systems. Of course, as security is strengthened in response to this, costs inevitably increase. Complaints from local governments preparing Christmas events are also growing. However, nothing is more important than people's lives. Countries worldwide are investing heavily to stop these attacks. Each nation responds sensitively, not just due to isolated incidents, but because one attack can easily trigger a wave of copycat crimes. In fact, in the past, there have been cases where attacks with similar methods, for various reasons, occurred one after another in different countries after starting in a particular country. Intelligence agencies consider this the most dangerous scenario. In the end, we have now reached a stage where letting our guard down, even for a moment, anywhere and anytime, could lead to a tragedy. I don't usually say this, but please be careful at Christmas events overseas. There have been many warnings. That's all for this video. Thank you.